You've ever wanted to create an AI by yourself, but you don't know how it's done? You lost motivation after finding no tutorial about it and you gave up?
Well, here I am, savior of the day.
Okay, I'm not that heroic, but I can still help you getting down to business. So, to break it down, I will create a skirmish AI for the game Command & Conquer Generals and Zero Hour, step by step without creating cheating money like EA's standard AI. For that purpose, I will use the World Builder 2.7 from Adrian, as I like its updates, bug fixes, and way of sorting the script tab. This version is included in the patching program of Legionnaire's Gen Patcher. I will leave a download link in the description. Creating an AI by yourself does not differ that much from programming, except for the fact that instead of writing code, you will have those funny boxes and templates where you just have to slide in variables. It's not hard, but takes a lot of time. As we enter the World Builder, you will have two main tools, the script tab and the team tab. The team tab will do all the unit stuff while the script tab does anything else. At first, hit the Add Skirmish Player button to get all of those AIs folders you need. Today, we will be only doing one of the 12 factions, but don't worry, you will spend countless hours and days on this alone, since it's all try and error, that is. As we are arriving in the script tab, you can see 14 folders. Don't ever touch neutral, it does everything but work properly. The player civilian is the default for everything that is not player-sided. What we are going to do here is handling objects in the map, object type lists and priority sets. What those are is what we will deal with later. The other 12 factions are one folder for each faction, so you will choose one faction and cast the rest aside. I've decided to create a super weapon general, so I will focus on that folder. As we are here, let me clarify that like everything in life,
Structure is love.
I create subfolders for every part of the AI that is distinguishable from another. For heaven's sake, why can't I create more than one subfolder? To not double up naming for the other factions, I will always call my folders, scripts, etc. with the name of the army itself, setting an underscore, and then begin with a real name. Also, don't be afraid to use your script comments, because they will help you finding your scripts you want to interact with, especially later on. Many folders have come into existence, but let's work on one at a time. We'll go first with a setup. This is the place for money management, counters, and what we are about to do now, game times. Game times are super important because without it, the AI wouldn't know what time or stage they are in. I've created myself a script that sets a timer at the beginning of the game for every minute until minute 15. Simple script. If true, then set timer X to expire in Y seconds. In the same script, I've also set up a counter and set it to 0. Once a timer ran out, in another script, it will add 1 to the counter. So after 15 minutes, the counter will have a value of 15. The reason for working with the counter instead of just having the condition of the timer running out is that the game's logic management is absolutely horrible. Scripts that run continuous without ever stopping won't work with a timer run out condition, as far as I know. So we will just check upon the counter's value instead. Because the AI tends to spend all of its money if you're not looking, we will have to manage its money also, somehow. Otherwise, it will never go over a certain amount of money needed to build a specific building. One could argue that you could just make the AI unable to build units for a time, but that won't work in case of defensive or panic situations. So we will play smart and always disallow the AI to build units once it's under a certain value, which still allows it to build more advanced buildings. I will take a $3,000 as a hard border. For the script, we will create a lever mechanism that consists of an active script and what we call a subroutine. On a condition, the active script will deactivate itself and activate the subroutine. The subroutine has the same in reverse. The condition here is that the player has either more or less than $3,000, as well as the premise that the current script is active. For some reason, trial and error, don't ask me, you also need to bring in the player's starting point. So that means everything times 8 because 8 is the maximum player count per map, just separated with an OR condition. We have completed the lever script. Super weapon below 3k cash disallows building units, and super weapon above 3k cash allows it again. If you want, you can also tie the game time with it, or the condition of having enemy units in your base, so the AI can spam defensive units even though it's under 3k. That was quite the setup, yet nothing visible in game. That's why we will start tackling another folder, super weapon build order. As the name already tells, this part of the AI will handle the base build and what comes around it. For this, keep in mind the tech tree, as the AI will refuse to build, for example, a war factory when the conditions of having a power plant and a supply center on the field is not fulfilled. Even AIs have to follow this principle. As you might have noticed now, There are 3 funny checkboxes that represent the AI's difficulty level. I will completely ignore that for the simplicity, as I want my AI to be as strong as possible. Nobody wants to play against easy army. For the first script, we will need to use the team tab. Create a team under Super Weapon General and let it have a bulldozer. After that, go back to the script folder, build order, and create a new script. I give my build order scripts the identifier superweapon_sequence_, and then whatever I want. Because 2 dozers work faster than 1, we want to have a dozer team to be created at the start. You will find it under Team, AI, Start Building a Team. Memorize this path, as this little script template here is the key to all your dreams. Anyways, in the same script, your first dozer that comes with it should build a fusion reactor, as it is for all USA armies. A bug in the game makes the AI pay for the free dozer, although players don't have to, so we will fix that by giving the $1,000 back. From here on, you'll create your own individual build order. Don't forget to do conditions that make sure previous buildings are built before you advance in the tech tree. That's also why we created the game time counter, for example. If you don't want to use the same placement of buildings as the vanilla AI does, you will have to come up with other ways than using the script we've used. There are other options as well. Trial and error. Once you're done with your build order scripts, we also want to check on it. Head right into your game and load your map. A little hint from this side is, since we have Gen Tool, we can just speed up the game by setting the FPS limit to the max and turn the game speed to the 2 dashes. Also, you can zoom out in single player with the help of Gen Tool, so why not give it a try? As we watch our AI happily build its base, we want to take notes on what has to be improved on timing or placement, etc. When you're happy with the result, we are ready to move on to the next folders: Super Weapon Science, Super Weapon Upgrades, and Super Weapon Special Powers. Because there are upgrades for buildings and units, you will have to script them into the game also. Depending on your army, you will have different upgrades to do. Let me show you a simple script that you can copy and paste over and over for every single upgrade there is for your army. Create a script and do a condition. In my case, I want to have town missiles for my Humvees, so there's one condition for it: owning a war factory. Our condition says player has built an object of type war factory. You can also just use the game time counter or whatever if building the upgrade on this stage is too early for you. Same stuff also goes for the science, though your script always stays the same. If player can purchase the science, then attempt to buy the science. Special powers is also the same as science, though you just remove the deactivate upon success tick box. Use the template of if ability is ready to use, then use ability on enemy's most valuable point. Pretty much everything that is left now is team oriented. That is what I will cover in the next part though, as it is way too much here. The team part is by far the most time-consuming part and will break you mentally. But for now, let's appreciate our little stupid AI without units. See you in the next part.